schválně. No, halo? Jsi tam furt? A mně se ten stream na tom YouTube ale neukazuje. Jo, už ukazuje.
Já tě vidím live, video vypadá lépe. Super.
Jo, je to dobrý?
Jo.
Ono to má trochu zpoždění. I zvuk tam slyšíš?
Tak jestli Jo, slyšíme sebe. Jo, je to fajn, můžeš jít, tak to jdu upravit. Čau, čau.
All right, my friends. So, sorry for this technical issues. Okay, so the plan for this stream, I want to show you the latest trades and explain you how I came into them. Obviously, I will ask all the questions, and also I want to. We will look also into some next new opportunities, right? So if we will find something in here, right? I do not think that we will probably take some trade today, because as you can see, the market is moving like that, and which is great for my currently running trades, right? Which are these. So everything is actually. So this is what I have closed today. This dollar index USD JPY. The last week there was closed a GBP USD, and now it's probably going to be closed this Euro USD, which is going to hit target in the minute, I think, right? It's reaching in there. So that's quite fucking awesome, I have to tell you. But all right, so let's not be too much excited, as but honestly I am, right? Because this is really the results of my work, of my 10 years work, and it's getting only better and better, right? But anyway, this stream is not about to bragging about my results, but the goal is to help you, right? So we will break down how I came into the trades and how I have took them, right? And then we will do the new analysis, right? Because once the price is reaching the targets, the biggest mistake is to simply not update and sticking to the old drawings, right? So let's go to the higher time frame, and we will start with the dollar index, right, which I want to explain. And I will start on the monthly, right? Even though if you are a day trader, you need to be always looking at the monthly. So here is a monthly chart of the dollar index, right? So what has happened in here, right? We can see that the price has been rallying into this order block, into these highs from where we had this big sell-off, right? So that's where the price has reacted, right? It has reacted in here, and it broke below this down candle, right? So it's kind of giving me an idea that we will most likely even continue lower, right? However, this is monthly, right? So there was many months ranging, then manipulation, and now we selling off down into here, right? So that's what has been playing out. We've been shorting in here, and then the price went where, right? We need to drop lower time frame, and in here you will see these candles, right? These down candles, right? These down candles are actually representing the order block which has broke through these highs, right? So what does it mean? That means that probably in here in the future can be some reaction, right? And that's where we are right now, right? Look, the price has dropped down into here and had the reaction in here, right? Also, what I'm looking for and teaching my students is a transition candle, which is a candle that has transited simply through a what? Through the discount to the premium, right? The transition candle is simply my word for that, right? So we have this candle, right? This one, look, right? Which has the low in here. This is where mostly price come for the liquidity, and I'll show you that right now actually in the euro also, and that's what helps me to place my targets, right? Look in here, right? Look where the price is going, right? Look at this candle here, right? Transiting from the discount to the premium, this low, right? That's where, this is where the price is going right now. That's why my target is in here at this moment, and I think we will reach it, right? Then maybe we can get some pullback and consolidations, right? Anyway, let's go back to the dollar index, and here on the weekly we are trading from this order block, right? And price also took the liquidity from this transition candle, right? So what's going on right now? Why we took longs in here, right? Why we are not still bearish when the price is going lower? Why we expect this pullback in here, right? So there's a few things which is always important to notice, right? How we framing our trade, how we what we are doing, right? So first of all, for me it's always important, while I'm not too much showing that in my analysis, but still I'm always watching the COT data, right? I have never understood really too much to the economic indicators, something like a obviously I understand the interest rates, right? But not the deep economic indicators, right? So in here we have a COT data, right? So what is that? Commitment of traders, right? It's a data which the big players has to report every week to this SEC, right, which is a American regulator, and they're reporting this data on the Tuesday, and then it's published on the Friday, and on the Friday we get this data, right, and this is the way how I'm looking at them, right. So we can see in here, in here, I don't know if you see it, in the end of the year, we can see that basically there was a lot of longs positions, right, on the dollar index. And then they start to disappear, right? They start to disappear, these longs. So the price started to go lower, right? We can see it here on the chart, right? Look. End of the year, and then we have January, longs has been closed, price is starting to drop lower, right? And then we see what? Then we see the shorts starts to come inside, right? Now the shorts are quite big, right? So now you might be wondering why I'm longing when the shorts are getting bigger, right? Because what I have learned in my experiences is that basically in this COT data there is what they want you to see, right? So the COT data became very bearish in here, and price is going higher, right? Because why? Because people watching it, right? So they take it against you, right? However, this still, for me, what does it mean for me? Look, the price is going higher and they are adding the shorts, right? So probably we will see a pullback and then continuation lower. However, here is where the strategy comes inside, right? So we can see one thing. We can see CLS candle, which is this big one, right? It's a candle which has a imbalance. What does it mean? Imbalance is here, right, between these two candles. But anyway, it's a big candle that moves the market. Why CLS? Because CLS are the players which has the money to do that, right? And then the premise is that one day, or in the near future, they need to rebalance these candles, right? And look how they stopped, right? So they basically created this candle. They stopped just right above a order block, just right above a transition candle liquidity, right? And then look what was happening here, right? And the idea is, and you always have to do it, right? Let me actually stand up because I don't like sitting, and I have this table where I can stand. Now I need to stand because I don't like sitting all day. Right? Okay. So I is that basically this can of course create manipulations, right? Because you always need to think what the traders are doing, right? Look what has happened in here, right? What is this? This is a pin bar, right? So many people will think, all right, we have a pin bar, we're going higher, right? And then they drop the price lower sharply, right? Sharp manipulation in here, right? And the idea is that the manipulation never happens in one candle, right? So what they do, they drop it lower, then they've been ranging, and they drop it lower again. Now we can see the pin bar in here, right? But it is in the order block and it is in the liquidity, right? And in here we can expect a pullback. But why this one didn't work and this one is, right? So you can see many things, right? This one is in the premium, right? We have premium and then we have discount price, which is lower in here, right? This one didn't come from any level. This one come from the order block, right? But what was also happening in here, right? This candle is creating a FOMO. People start to think it's going lower, it will definitely go lower, right? Look at the COT data, it's very bearish, right? And then this candle in one moment, in one specific moment, when the price was down here, how was this candle looking, right? Tell me in the chat how this candle was looking. Well, basically, this candle in one specific moment was very bearish, right? It was looking like those previous ones. I don't know how to draw it, right? Like this, right? This candle in here, okay, I need to make, anyway, this candle in one specific moment was very bearish. And what the traders are doing, right? What are most of the traders are trading? They basically trading a breakout, right? So in here, they trading a breakout. So those who've been selling in here, they probably entered short, right? Like this, right? When where these people are putting their stop losses, maybe above this high, right? Maybe above, if we go lower time frame, right? Maybe above these highs, right? Probably, because they mostly hide above two levels, right? So what happened in here is that basically those market makers which created this FOMO, right? They stopped the price just right above a order block and just right above this transition candle. Why? Because they knew they want to trade from there. And by false breaking this in here, what they did, they created liquidity. But how? Because the traders who actually sell here, and there is two ways of selling, right? Those who've been stopped out by the sell stops, or those who enter the sell. It's basically selling the contract so the market makers, the CLS players, can buy, right? So they doing the opposite, right? So that's why we've been expecting it to work in here and target the 50% of this candle, of this CLS range, right? So of this candle, 50%, right? We actually do not care about some levels in here, right? That's why is this very powerful. We're looking to the 50%, right? Then for the pullback and another opportunity and targeting the whole range, right? That simple it is, right? Many traders, when I see the charts, if you drop to the 4-hour side, they will have a lot of levels in here. But these levels only distract you, my friends. Yes, breakdown traders, correctly, Marco da Silva. Breakout traders, right? So that's the way how we look to the markets, right? And Also, there was actually another one thing, and I cannot miss that. And it's basically here, right? Let me show you here in the seasons. Here. Here is a dollar index, and if you look into the April, right, the price was dropping lower, and then you have the May. May is usually very strong month for the dollar index, right? So we can see that the price is mostly moving higher, right? So this is basically the 35 years averages. The blue one is a 35 year, um, the pink one is a 5 years, right? And this, I fucking don't remember the name in the English. And the other one is simply the 15 years, right? So we can see that the May is mostly the strong month in the on the dollar index, right? So that gives me another confluence that maybe some pullback can come, right? So we have a lot of confluences, right? So let's put it all together. We have higher time frame key level. We have higher time frame transition candle liquidity. We are in the discount, right? We have a CLS candle, we have a manipulation, and then we have a moment where we can see the change in the order flow, right? Which is actually in here. In this moment, when we have these down candles where they've been selling, where the people was trading the sell and the market makers was creating the buy. So once this candle close above and back in the range, that's for us a signal that this could happen, right? And it's happening right now. Actually, this dollar index trade is actually now closed in here, right? So it was today, right? 7K on this trade, right? Now we have also closed the USD JPY, right? So let's look to the USD JPY, where we are, right? In here, USD JPY, right? Yeah. Very similar situation, right? You will see that most of my trades look still same, right? If you are, and I do not want to be saying some traders that I'm better than some other traders or something, some like to compare, but if you simply watch some traders on the trading view, right, you will find out that many people are actually, you can go simply here, trading ideas, you will find out that I don't want to say this trader is bad or whatever, but how can you do something repeatable or something measurable when you're drawing just like this, right? Very subjective trading analysis, right? Same thing like here, right? These people, they have a chance sometimes. I don't say that the channels are bad, but this is fucking how can you be consistent with doing this, right? Sometimes you draw the channel from here, then from here, right? And you will get completely different levels, right? So that's why I would say that all of these things are, I don't want to say bullshit, but just don't make sense to me, right? Look here, we have again, we have what? We have the USD JPY, right? Price is dropping lower. We see a big candle digging into the level, stopping above what, right? Remember this, right? We have the key level in here, right? This is a midpoint of the order block, which is measured from here, from this candle high to this candle low. Here is a 50%, right? Look, let me hide this, right? And that midpoint is somewhere in here. Look how they create a big candle and then they stop just right above it, right? That's what mostly happening, right? It's not happening often that they come straight to the key level. They just stop above the key level, right? And then they manipulate into it and trade from that, right? So in here, we've been able to apply the completely same thing, completely same approach, right? So look, what's that, right? So we have the big candle, price consolidates, then manipulates, right? If you remember again, as the Carlos said, Hello, Vincent. Good evening. It's morning in here. In here, the traders are selling, right? But market makers are buying. In the moment, once the candle close above, which would be this one, this candle closing above, right? It's the signal for us that they have been accumulating positions and they are ready. They change the order flow and they are ready to move price higher, right? And again, where we targeting, we ignoring everything in here, every level, we just targeting 50%, right? And that's what play out in here, right? That's model number one. And then waiting for a pullback in the Fibo, right? Which is, where do I have it? Give me a second. Yeah, which should be measured from here, right, to here, right? You see, this time we didn't reach that, right? Exactly, right? Sometimes that happens, right? But anyway, it traded from this level, which was tested 2 times, and then the price is going a full range, right? That's what we have traded in here, right? So okay, euro also has hit the target. So we have all the trades closed, right? Look, so that fuck me. All right, so we have closed the USD JPY, right? We have closed to US dollar index, also the Euro USD, right? And if we look to the last week history, there is also closed GBP USD here, right? Which we had, and I will show you the GBP USD also, right? So remember that how everything is still same thing, right? So this is the USD JPY. We have seen dollar index. Now let's check the euro, right? So what was going on here, right? Look, we have reached exactly this transition candle. If there is anything what you take from this stream, that should be it, right? That's mostly where the level comes, right? You don't need to be worried about where we go. You just measure the swing, right? From here, from this low to this high, right? Here, you will get a 50%, and then you find this candle which did through the discounted premium, and below it, this is where the price goes, right? You see how we closing exactly. Now maybe we will get some pullback. I think we will get some pullback right now, right? USD JPY hitting this thing, the pound, right? Now let's break down the pound. So we had actually the trade, and I need to show you in my journal because I have already closed it. So it's this one, right? Actually, it was 2 trades. So here was the first one, right? Again, we have the range, right? This is the big candle, right? There was a big candle. We had the manipulation into the level, and then price start to close inside, right? Again, in here, breakout traders entering, the price close below, right? And we expecting price to go to the 50%, right? Can go lower, of course, right? Let's check, because I had this analysis also on the trading view, and it was this one, right? Look, here we have this big candle, then we have another manipulation, right? UJ entered it. Nice, my friends. He had the UJ also, right? So in here, and then the price goes lower, right, to 50%. You don't need to target more, right? You don't need it. There's always will be situations where you can go whole range, but this is all you need, right? Now there was actually another setup in here, right? Let's break it down. Let's go to the trading view also, and it was this one, right? So we had that manipulation, price traded into the 50%. Then we've been expecting a pullback, and finish the whole range, right? And this is how it played, right? Came back in here and then reached the whole range, right? Now the price is going lower somewhere. We're not in this trade. It doesn't matter, right? We have followed our strategy, and here is how it looks like on the trade one, and here is the second one where I've actually put both of these trades into my journal, right? So we have the first trade, retracement, second trade, right? So yeah, that's how it works. It's very simple and easy, I would say. And yeah, and Euro USD actually in here, I didn't had the best entries, right? So let's break down this one also, right? Let me move this, right? So we had again weekly. Look. Here we have our level, right? Now, look, we have a huge candle coming close to the level, right? Not exactly into the level, close to the level. Then next week ranging, right? Then we have manipulation closing inside, and then we expecting price going to the 50%, or we can extend into the transition candle if you are a little bit more advanced, right? But what was the problem for me here? I actually didn't catch the trade properly, right? How should be this trade traded? Once these candles closed below in here, right? Here should be a entry, right? Immediately, like this, right? I didn't catch this. That would be perfect trade, right? But still, I didn't catch that, and I thought that the price will come lower in here and again retest this level, right, and go lower. However, it didn't happen, and I've been adding some few smaller positions in here and targeting lower with my stop above here. And my plan was that if the price retrace, I would be adding some more positions in here, right? It didn't happen. Played out like this, right, and that's also fine, right? Damn, I was just gonna link and Mrs. Stream. All right, thanks for sharing. Okay, hi, welcome guys. Okay, so now what to do right now, right? The price has reached the objectives, right? We've been targeting 50% in here, it's reached, right? In here, we've been targeting these highs. You see, it didn't reach that high, but I'm already out of the trade. Why? Because I already learned that it's good to put this target a little bit below these highs, right? Because it already happened to me that the price just reversed in here. It has reached the target later, but I want to be out in here right now, right? Euro reaching the target, and pound, it already played out in here, and now it's somehow like don't know, right? This price action, I don't know. We will need to reanalyze, right? Also, one more trade I want to show you was the BTC in here, and I have actually already deleted. No, I still have something in here, right? So one more trade I want to show you in here. So it was this monthly CLS range, right? Let me take you to the monthly, right? And you can see big candle, right? Big candle just above a key level. Then you have a manipulation. It didn't play in the first candle, right? Why? It's also one thing which is important to know is that if you have a manipulation but candle still closes bearish, then mostly one more dip is coming. If this candle closes bullish, then we would most likely go higher, right? So there was one more manipulation, and then the price went higher, right? So it was possible to trade it in the lower time frame ranges. There was a few trades we took, and also now from this order block, right, price taking up higher, right? So that was actually another trade I had, and it was this one, right? So we have this range, low, right? And then, okay, where am I now? And then here is the entry, right, at the 82,536, and then targeting the whole range high, right? So in this moment, in this trade, I've been targeting the whole range because it's in the uptrend. So in that way, you can be targeting the whole range, my friends. All right, so that was some summary, that was some review of some past trades, right? Obviously, I'm not having just a wins, right? In here was actually another trade on the Bitcoin where I had the loss. I've been expecting price to make a pullback in here, right? Entered on the manipulation of the weekly CLS range, but I have made mistake, right? Look, price went up, right? So what was the mistake? Mistake was, I have wrote it actually in here, I made a mistake to think strong DXY will take down the BTC, and also trading against a higher time frame, which was the monthly, which is bullish. That was took me out on this one, right? So there was actually another trade, which was this BTC, yes, this one, right? And it was a short against the main trend, but on the lower time frame, right? So it was possible to play this one, right? And again, the same thing. You have the range, you have the manipulation price closing inside, and you can be targeting the low, right? So still repeating one stupid, boring thing over and over, right? So let's look what we can do right now at this moment, right? I will be keeping these charts because I want to keep these drawings and put them into my journal, right? So what I'm mostly doing at this moment is that I basically make a copy, right? I make a copy of my charts, and then I can delete and start to do a new drawings, right? And in here, in the previous chart, I still keep my drawings, right? So I can put them into my journal, right? And now I'm going to sit for a while again, and we will look if we can, and we will look if we can do some, if we can find some nice charts or some possible trades. All right, so let's go back to the dollar index, right? So I'm going to delete this, delete this, delete this, don't need it, don't need it, right? Here is where we are right now, right? We still need to have in our mind that although we have traded long in here, and we could potentially expect the price to reach these highs, right? We still need to understand that on the higher time frame, we will most likely could go lower, right? Where maybe into here, right? So it, in my opinion, it's still kind of bearish, but we are now in kind of a pullback, right? So what I want to do, I definitely want to draw a kind of a dealing range in here, right? So I'll definitely draw a dealing range in here, and in my opinion, I don't need this one at this moment, and I don't need this one because it's already played out. And in my opinion, before we continue lower, we could go into this dealing range, right? So let's extend this. We know here is this weekly, right? And also we need to draw a from the previous week. But what's happening in here, right? We can see the candles are closing higher, higher, higher. Now we again opened and move higher, right? So where's the liquidity right now? Where's the liquidity? If the candles are closing higher, the liquidity will be always above, right? So it's here, right? Right now it will be in here, right? Until happens what? Until we get some manipulation and close inside, right? So in that moment, so in that case, I still have to be bullish right now. Yes, I'm sorry because we had the problem with some technical problem. I had some big bit rate, but I'm not specialist in this, and it's fine, all right. So what level also I would like to highlight in here, because I don't see anything in here, I definitely would like to highlight this, right? That would be kind of this opening gap, right? This opening gap would be definitely playing some role if the price will retrace, right? So looking at this, also what we have in here is we need to draw some levels from the higher time frame from here, right? So we have this range, and in my opinion, we're going higher in here, right? We just need to form a trade where we will go from, right? So for what's happening today? Today is happening a Monday range, right? So that's what I'm going to draw in here, definitely for sure, right? Monday range, important range for me. Right, Monday range is always like an initial balance for the next new week, right? So trading below a Monday range is perfect. It would be very nice, right? This would be beautiful if that plays out. If we drop below this Monday range, and we will see something in here. However, you know, we're not living in the perfect world, right? So yeah, anyway, the price has moved in here, and we have the Monday range, right? And that's it. That's what I got for now, right? I don't need to speculate right now. It will go down from here, you know, and then trade it from here. No. I have my bias. My bias is that the price could reach this. Why? Because it is a premium, right? If I want to short long term, I would like to be trading from the premium. It's from here, right? Premium, right? 50% of this swing, above a 50% of that swing, right? Most likely it could reach this level, right? But I don't know it yet. That's what I think could happen, right? What I'm gonna do? Am I gonna trade from here? No. Why would I do that, right? I have the closed right now quite nice profits, right? So what I do? Nothing. I just wait, right? I will simply put a alarm around here. If the price will start to retrace in here, I would start to be interested. For now, this chart is done for me. Of course, if I go lower time frame, I can find something, but it's not point for me, right? Here, USD JPY, right? I can delete all of these. Don't need them, don't need them, right? These key levels. Don't need anything in here, right? And now at this stage, basically USD JPY, what's happening here, right? We can see they left these highs, right? We can see this one like an equal high side. Now this one probably will be also left as an equal high. Why this is happening? This is basically showing us a fake triple top, right? Like a triple top, right? And now what needs to happen, what probably will be happening, right? Actually also we now getting this CLS range in here, right? That's a big candle, right? CLS range. So most likely price will retrace down into this 50%, right? That would be possible if you go to the lower time frame and you get a close, which we are getting right now below here, right? Which is actually the bearish order block right now confirmed, right? There is a way to enter this short, right? That's the simple model, right? You could get 1, 2, 4, 6, right? Maybe if you move it into 50% in here, right? You could get, but what you're doing, you're trading against this, right? But anyway, I think it could drop lower, but I would not trade that. This is not what I would be interested. What needs to happen in here in order to create a more liquidity above these highs, right? That's what's probably the market makers are doing, right? They setting this trap right now. So once they're setting this trap, they need to create something what will force the traders to enter the market, which will probably be something like a false break of a trend line, right? Something like this, maybe we could see, right? Because in this moment, when price gets here, the traders will start to do what? They will start to sell the breakdown, and where they will put stop losses. Obviously, they will put them here on the top. Because why? Because price was rejected 3 times, so that's probably a strong level, right? But look where exactly they building this fake level. Exactly, sorry, exactly below this key level. Look, you see? So maybe short from here later, yes. But I think that there will be some nice chance to go higher from after they trap the traders into this long, right? So anyway, for me, what I would do right now, I would put alarm into this trend line, right? And this is basically what has played out for me, right? Also, I would be interested to see if the chart, if the price comes into this level. But for me at this moment, this is what I do. And also I will highlight a Monday range, right? Obviously, I do not know if the Monday will close like this, right? Tomorrow morning or tonight, I will be sleeping, but tomorrow morning I need to update this Monday range, right? Also, let's look to the weekly, right? Nothing, right? So that's all what I can find at this stage, right? Because trade has met the objective and there's no reason to be re-entering to try to outsmart, right? You need to wait. There's a moment when you need to wait, and it's actually right now, right? You would be doing something when the price comes here, when it breaks through this, or maybe if we are below this before reaching this high, right? Because if that happens, then there's a high chance that it will continue higher, right? Let's go to euro. Right, you can see euro nicely rejecting from here, and what would be possible next trade, right? If you remember, we have the model number 1 into the 50%, right? Actually, now it went into this transition candle. We don't need this anymore, right? Could the price go actually lower? Yes, it could, right? Because why? Because dollar index still has a room to go higher also, right? If you remember in here, right? Look what has happened in here. Price went to the 50%, then made pullback, and then the whole range, right? Now if you reverse it and look here, right? Price going to the 50%, pullback, and then full range. Is it possible? Is this possible? How do we know? Well, basically, look, this is a trading journal, right? I'll take you here. Here's the trade library, and it's a winning trades, right? Look, price went to 50%, pullback, full range, right? There's no way to know this other than having a statistical data, right? How many statistical data we have? We have a lot already, right? Let me find some other examples for you. Yes, yes, Marcos, exactly. So it's basically model 2, right here. Price went from here, we have the range, price went 50%, pullback, 61.8, and then full range. Did it play out? Play out, right? So it's something what is repeating. That's why I got confidence in it, right? Where is another model 2? Here. Right? We have the range, price reached 50% in here. You measuring pullback and then going lower, right? Where is another model 2? Here, actually. Price reaching 50%, pullback, and then full range, right? So, could it happen in here? Yes, it could. Could we trade long maybe right now and wait for the pullback down? We could, but why would we do that, right? We would rather wait, right? So what I'm going to do in here, again, as usually, I simply mark out a Monday range, right? Again, tomorrow I need to update, right? Correctly how it's going to be. What else I'm going to put here? FIP, right? Simply here. Right? So this is what will be showing me where I want to trade, where I would be interested, right? Nothing lower. What can happen in here? It can happen that the price will not reach even this high where I would be interested to trade and not even this level. It can drop lower. Then in that case, I simply miss another opportunity and it's absolutely fine. I would never be selling it and trying to catch it in here because I think it goes there. Because what's going to happen? They break lower and then they will be going higher for the whole week, right? It's Monday, so what could happen, right? Tuesday they create the low of the week and they will be taking it against you for the whole week until the Thursday or maybe the Friday, and then they drop it lower, right? And you will be in the trouble, right? You will be in the trade which you don't want to be, right? So that's what you do in here, right? And you also actually highlight this order block in here because it can be retested and it's exactly in the level where we want to trade, right? So we want to trade from here, right? Or maybe from here, but I would prefer the pullback all the way up here, right? Same is actually on the dollar index, right? I have forgot to put a FIP in here, right? So it would be something like this, right? Which would give me actually from here, right? Why I'm not measuring from here but from here? It's always measured from the level which has been rejected, which has made some manipulation, right? So here is here actually also, right? So it should be like this, right? And then if I go lower time frame, it will actually perfectly align, right? Let me change this color to the daily, right? So we have this daily range, we have the Fibonacci 61 point in here, and also the order block in here, right? So in here I would be interested down here, right, for the continuation higher. And this is how I'm actually ready on the USD JPY, the euro. Also, let's see what I can see on the pound, right? Pound is quite ugly price action, but what we can expect in here, where the price could go to the discount, right? Where, in what level? Maybe here, right? What is that? Transition candle, right? That's where it could be a liquidity. What's the level below that, right? This, right? I don't like this ugly wick in here, right? It's not showing anything. Let's drop lower. What's gonna be there? Right, so we see this down consecutive candles and then this candle in here, right? That would be potential level right in here, right? So that's what's going on in here. And do we have some? right? So basically in here we still have that range playing, right? This big CLS range, right? Right. So what has happened in here? We have the range, then we have a manipulation above here, right? Then the price reached the 50% right now, right? So what could happen right now? Pullback and then the whole range, right? So basically same thing, right? And we can see how perfectly it is in the sync on the dollar, right? Dollar right now reaching 50%, probably make a pullback and continuation higher, right? Euro reaching 50%, probably pullback, continuation lower, right? Before a before continuation higher, right? Because look, why? We are still not on the key level from where we could continue this uptrend. Where is the key level? This down candle, right? This is the order block from where I would not be taking a shorts anymore, right? Because why? Because why? Look, it's accumulation, manipulation, right? And then we going up on the higher time frame, right? And we need to go from the level from this time frame, and it's lower. It's not here, it's here, right? So you can see how it all makes perfect sense when you put the pieces together, right? And yes, there will probably be the long opportunity, but I'm not seeing that as a nice opportunity right now. Maybe tomorrow, if it goes below the Monday range and start to close inside, then yes, then it would be an opportunity for me. USD is a little bit going further, right? On the USD already played what we will be looking for on the other ones, right? So where are the euro and the pound right now? They are here, right? They have made the manipulation and they made this model one, right? There is a euro, pound, and the dollar, right? USD already made that pullback and the full range. That's what we expecting on the other pairs to play also, right? So that's how I got my preparation for the next week, for this week, right? And today I will probably not be opening any trades, right? So tell me, guys, is there anything from US China with the tariff? Didn't expect it you should that soon on Monday. Yeah, Adrian. And you got some, what we can look for, we can actually look to the Bitcoin also, right? So what I think is playing out in here, Bitcoin is getting into the stage where it is going to be very difficult to enter on some nice pullbacks, because if you look how the Bitcoin is always trading, right, that's some kind of the market where you simply need to be in the position in the range and living through this uncomfortable time, because if you don't time perfectly how to get for this move, right, then you will simply not get a some good entry level, right? Then again, you need to be in the positions in this, right? Because entering in here is very difficult, and that's where we are, in my opinion, getting at this moment, right? If we had actually a nice chance to enter in here, but if you will be not in the position in here, we will get some markup in here, and it will not be giving some pullbacks like that. Bitcoin, when it goes, it simply goes, right? So I think that's gonna be difficult for trading right now. We will see. What I would do at this moment, right? Basically, I can delete everything, because everything what I was thinking that will play is playing. Here is my higher time frame expectations. I will show you in here. Let me take it on the weekly. Right, and I do think that we will go into this higher part of this channel somewhere around maybe this red line, right? Because if you look at it this way, you can see where is most likely the extension of this channel, I mean extension, standard deviation of this channel, right? So in this higher part of this channel is where I think we are going at this moment. And it will be, in my opinion, in the October. Now I want to show you one more thing. Look, this is quite fucking interesting. From this high, the price has been dropping lower, right? Here, the exact low, which was created in here, it's this distance, right? Let me zoom for you a little bit, these numbers. And you will see it's at 364 days, exactly to the low. Look, from this high, exactly to this low, right? 364 days is exactly 1 year. Now, let's check here. From this high to this exact low, let me zoom this number again. 364 days, right? From this high to this low, right? So the bear market was exactly 364 days, right? Now, from this high to this high, right? It's exactly 1,421 days, right? Or in other words, 200 weeks, right? So that's why I think that we're gonna get something like this in here also, because the Bitcoin is basically being driven. So for 401 is going to be somewhere here in the October, right? Because Bitcoin is driven by the M2 money supply, right? Based on the how the Fed is and the global liquidity, how they are printing, and it's always in these periods, right? And again in here, right? Obviously that's gonna be the same from this low to this high, right, at 1064 days, and from this low to this high. If we project that, we obviously don't know if it's going to repeat exactly, but there's a high chance. So I think that we're gonna have a bull run, maybe something like this. Once we get above this 120k in this channel in here, right, then I think that here can get this parabolic stage, and maybe I don't know, right, 400k maybe, but I think that in here this is somewhere where it would be probably a top, right? And in my opinion, we're gonna get something like a move higher, right? Then around August there will be a ugly pullback, and then the final run up, right? And then maybe something like this, right? So that's for the Bitcoin, right? So how to trade it on the lower time frame? Difficult, because it's already play out, right? My setup has play out. It was this CLS range, right? And it has play out. Currently, what I need to see is where is the liquidity, right? It's obviously going into these highs. That's gonna play there, right? So lower time frame, candles closing above the candles, right? So what I would need to see is to be some range low taken, right? So that would be for me here, right? But we don't need to follow a Bitcoin at this moment, right? I want to show you something else. Here's actually the Solana, beautiful play out also, right? I had a trade in here, but closed around the 50%. I was expecting that pullback, which didn't happen, and then it went all the way up, right? This was actually posted also in here, right? This simple thing playing on the Solana, where we have it here, right? Look, beautiful, right? Actually, same thing has played on the Sui, right? And right now I think the Dodge is in play, right? We are already under 50% in here. And we have also some others which are interesting, right? So let me show you in here. We have Ethereum, this fucking scam coin, right? Also reaching 50% right now, right? So the Bitcoin is leading. Bitcoin has made it already into the 50%, right? Same like a USD JPY in here, right? Already made it into the 50%. Euro, right? 50% right now. We're expecting pullback and continuation, right? So that's what would be also probably on the Ethereum, right? So Ethereum on the 50%, right? Link, look, link. Same thing, we have the candle manipulation, right, closing above 50%, right? So what is here? We have this room, right? It's a weekly, right? So we have a room for few weeks to go higher, right? Same on the Ethereum, right? So what are we gonna do? Obviously, you can buy Ethereum here on the spot and just wait, right? But if you want to trade a lower time frames, entries, what you're gonna do, right? So you have the now this is perfect situation. Let me explain you in here, right? So we have a candle, right? Manipulate that now, price closing inside, right? You see this one has reached this 50% in here. So where's the liquidity now? Here, right? So what would be our entry? It would be this, right? Like that. Once the price drops below here, that would be nice to enter for the continuation higher, right? And that's what you do, over and over, right? Here will be a key level. Did this break something, right? Look, you have these highs, you have these highs. Where was the key level? Where is the initial move to break these highs? Right here. So this is your key level in here, right? You have the range, this one, and here will be something playing out in here, right? And then once this happened, that's where you enter, right? Same on the link. What's going on in here? We're reaching this level. We need to know how this candle will close. This one closed inside, right? So it's not that clear in this one. Yeah, this is still going higher, right? So here we have no setup yet. And yeah, that's actually pretty much what I'm seeing right now at the markets. When basically not looking for some crazy intraday scalps, intraday trades, right? So yeah. So should we look for something? Can you give edge on Euro USD? Actually been speaking about a Euro USD already, right? And so what we can see in here is basically we have reached our target, and I think we will see a pullback right now, yeah? So what would be a pullback? As I mentioned, here we have this daily range, right? If we go for this 1 hour, right? So is it playing from some level? Basically, yes, right? So basically, we could have this level, I mean 4 hours, right? Here is the advice. If you're looking for the levels, never go below a 4 hours, right? But we didn't reach the level in here, right? Even though it's looking like on 1 hour that there is a range on the 1 hour, this one, right? And price manipulate that, it's not from a key level, right? So I think that the euro will be now still somehow ranging until it reaches this level in here, right? You see, it's still slightly below it, right? So it can go much lower. At this moment, you don't have trade on the euro. I mean, if you, what would you do? What can you do? You can short it, this. Where you gonna put stop loss, right? What you gonna do? This, and hoping that they will not take you out, maybe. Or this, I think it's not good, right? So I think that's it, right? You're waiting. You need to wait for the key level, and it's not here. It didn't tap it, right? So yeah. All right, guys. So anyone has any questions? Gold. Ah, fuck. I was in hope that no one will ask that. Everyone likes to trade the gold because it's volatile, and I personally don't have a really good track record on the gold, right? And actually, I'll show you. When I was doing my weekly review this weekend, I've been doing my self-reflection. I'll show you. I basically did stupidity this weekend, right? Last week. Although I had some great trades. This was actually the trades running, and I closed this beautiful GBP. I had this amazing Bitcoin trade, right? Then I actually had also a stupid, and that one losing one, but I had a stupid losing trade on the gold, which actually fucked up my whole week, right? That was actually the trade I shared in the Discord. It was this thing which I was trying to trade in here, right? This range and expecting the price to go lower. And what's actually the mistake in here, right? See, we have the range, right? And I've been playing in the mid of the range, right? Remember, always you need to play on the top of the range, right? Never play here. Just fuck these trades, right? So yeah, and let me take you back in here, and I need to zoom it for you because look what I have written in here, right? Okay, so every weekend I'm writing down what was working for me, what was not, right? And here. So what was working? Following the plan on the USD, model number 1, model number 2, dollar, GBP, JPY. I will use only these three as a, okay, I made the note that I will use only these three pairs as the main trading pairs, right? Because they have the correlation, right? Then I realized that the BTC is not correlated with the DXY, but USDT, blah, blah, blah. And then gold. I took the position as a continuation trade in the middle of the range, which was wrong. Also, I'm removing gold from my watch list. Overall, I don't have long-term good statistic. And here, I have totally fucked up the risk management on the gold and BTC. I need to focus more on the automatization, right? I made a stupid trade here. Let me show you. Last week. Here, that's the problem when you have a winning streak. It's actually here, gold on the bottom, minus 4K, right? Minus 4K in one trade, and then here on the BTC, minus 6K on that BTC trade, right? So I basically, even though I have made these amazing profits on these 4 trades recent, I burned 10K on the 2 stupid over leveraged trades, right? Anyway, let's try to look at the gold, my friends. What's the time? Okay, it's 11. Let's give it more 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Or just look at the gold and we will close it for today. Right, so here's that fucking hated gold. How often are you doing live sessions? Yeah, let's do that every day, right? I mean, so look, here is actually that my old analysis, right? You can see, here was the trade. Here is where I have this loss, right? The mistake was playing it on the mid of the range, and now the gold is going lower, right? So I had this target in here, and the target is still same, right? So what I would do right now, if I should delete it and start over, and that's what I suggest you to do also, right? If you sometimes have some chart where you have some analysis and uh, it wasn't playing out, or maybe you don't know, you're not sure, what you need to do is you need to sometimes to get a fresh look, right? So what I do, I simply delete everything in here, right? I'm just keeping these higher time frame analysis in here, right? So what I have, I got, let's go to the weekly. What I got in here, I got this range, right? Yeah, I have this expansion, so maybe we will see better on the daily, right? So we have this expansion, right? From here the low was taken, so that's where I'm measuring my expansion, right? Now we've been in the premium, now we're most likely going into the discount into where you see this, remember, transition candle, right? That's where the liquidity is, that is where the gold is probably going, and I was right with the direction in here, right? Also, if we look into the COT data, let me just quickly show you, you will see there is a big profit taking in the COT data, right? Let me show you. Gold, right? Let me zoom for you, right? And we can see here is the longs, right? Look how the longs has been closed, right? From the 356k, they dropping lower 327. Now they are 237, right? The lowest, right? But nothing much happening with the shorts, right? No one is shorting it, but they taking the profits. You see they closing the longs positions, right? Here we can see the net changes, right? Minus 8k, minus 37k, right? Minus 12k, minus 26k, right? So what does it tell us, right? Where was this biggest longs closed, right? On the beginning of the previous month, right? So what does that mean? Beginning of the previous month, it's here, right? So all this move up, this whole move up, right? They been closing the positions, right? From the 300k, 327k to the 237, right? So they basically closed almost 100k contracts, right? So where the price most likely will go back into the level where they've been bullish, right? Which is might be these consecutive candles, or might be even here, right? But this is what we don't need to know. We need to know price is going into the discount, into the transition candle, which is here, right? So bearish, right? How to enter that at this moment, right? I've been trying to overcomplicate here, and simply I didn't follow my trading plan. And then you can see, you know, even if you have the trading plan, you sometimes miss it, right? But what's the important is to write it into your notes so you don't do that next time, right? So what's happening, how I would trade it, right? I don't know how I would trade it, right? Because what I have, this is what I wanted to trade in here, right? And it went higher, right? I was trying to enter somewhere in here, and now it's going here. It's, in my opinion, it's clean, it's obvious, it will go down here, right? But how I will find my setup, right? What I would do, I would definitely wait for some kind of a pullback, or some kind of a manipulation, right? I'm never selling the lows, right? So at this moment I would like to see something like this, but into where, right? So let's try to find what we could do, right? Obviously, as usually, I like to do a Monday range, right? Not sure if today's Monday range will be reached, right? So obviously in here, that would be very nice, right? Because this is actually also a order block, this candle. But it was retested in here, right? So it closed retested. Now going lower, right? Let's go lower time frame. Right, then we have this retest, and again now once we break through all these, this is all order block, these all up candles, right? So from here, that would be perfect trade for me as a swing trader, right? As an intraday trader, how often, yeah, as an intraday trader you maybe can find something, right? You can speculate, of course, on some pullbacks in here, right? Trading in lower, right? Also, in the past, I've been using this, right? Moving averages. Let me just wait a second. They will upload, right? So you have a moving averages in here, right? It's also helping in the strong trend, right? You have these moving averages. So if the price comes into the moving average, right, once you have the 200 EMA above a 50, then you can sell from there, right? But what I would say here is that basically the move is almost happening, and if you're not selling the highs and you're trying to short lows just for such a move, right? I mean, for someone it's probably a great move, great potential, but for me, like trading 4 hours daily, weekly, 1 hour, right? It's not that interesting, right? That's how I would wrap it up for today. Okay, guys. So, how often? Yeah, we will do that tomorrow also, right? So maybe we're gonna get some nice opportunities tomorrow, right? So we will see if the euro will drop lower below here, right? As we've been drawing it in here, right? And maybe get that pullback, right? Maybe we could trade it. We will see, right? But at this moment, it seems like it's not. But who knows, right? The goal is not to be sitting the whole day by the charts, but prepare the situations which would be high probability, right? Okay, so let's look to the Aussie, my friend. H bar, yes, H bar. We have also. I have also the. I'm also bullish on the H bar for sure, because there's also that big CLS range playing out. I think it was 3 months. Yeah. Okay, so let's look to the Aussie quickly, my friend. And I'm going to use. I suggest you guys, if you're trading forex, use the Saxo charts. They have the best ones. They have really the best price section and everything, right? So you can see in here, right, already. What did I have here? Right, yeah, you see, I've been actually watching something in here, right? So I was actually having some kind of ranges, right, and this and that. All right, let's delete that. Let's start from the monthly, right, where we are now. We can see that the price is doing well, right? You know, now as I look at this, I don't like the chart, right? I kind of don't like too much ranges, too much wiki candles, right, and these things, right? But anyway, we can see, and I see already something in here, right? So as we have a bullish dollar, right, we could potentially expect some pullbacks down here, right? We have this candle here, right? The price almost reached it, actually reached it right in here. Now it's maybe going lower, right? Let's go weekly. We will find some ranges in here, right? And this is actually really something. I would have to be pushing, you know, my friend. It's a wick here, right? As we have a bullish dollar, I think these would be nice targets for sure, right? However, how I would frame the trade in here, it's something I really, I'm not saying that I couldn't do that, right? I mean, here's the level, right? Here was the range. That's actually the same drawings as I had the previously, right? Here is the range, here is the another range, right? We have the candle manipulating, closing inside. And yeah, now I already see it, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit time, but then you see it, right? Then you go lower time frame. So we have this weekly range, we have the level, right? We can see the price has manipulated, it has created the order block in here, right? This up candle, right? Maybe maybe the level would be in the midpoint of it, right? Didn't reach. And then a price reached the 50% in here, and then maybe we could see a pullback and price going lower to reach this low, right? So again, this is kind of already in the move, right? So we have the level, we have the range, manipulation, price closing inside, right? On the lower time frame we can see that clearly right now as these consecutive up candles taking this liquidity. It's a order block, right? And then price going lower, but I think it's late at this moment. It's not that interesting, right? But it has all the aspects which could be a good trade from here. Maybe you have this, so from here it could be a good trade, but still the risk reward is not that good, right? Why? Because look, you go higher time frame and you have this ranging, right? You have this ranging things. It's ugly price action, right? In here, the euro, JPY, these are looking good, right? This is something you want to trade, right? But the Aussie looks ugly for me. Gold, maybe some other traders can trade it better than me, but I personally, I said to myself that I will not do that anymore. All right, my friends, I would wrap it up in here. I hope that you might learn something, you might get some interesting aha moments or something which helps you in your journey, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully without these technical problems, and maybe we will enter some trade. See you next time. Bye bye.